May 1956. A classified flash message hits the British Air Ministry, and the reaction is pure panic. Dover radar operators are staring at a terrifying security gap across the English Channel. A rogue nuclear strike force is breathing down their necks, completely detached from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization command. Paris has just ripped up the rulebook. The catastrophic 1956 Suez Crisis proved that Washington would abandon its allies in a heartbeat, leaving Europe defenseless. Now, the French are playing a dangerous card of madness. They are not waiting for permission. They are prepping a unilateral first strike weapon that places the entire British air defense network in checking position. If World War III erupts, this mystery intruder is designed to penetrate British overlapping radar fields, completely blindfolding London before its commanders can even pray for a miss. But how do you stop a ghost that flies faster than a rifle bullet? Meet the ultimate airborne provocateur of the Cold War, the Dassault Mirage 4. This supersonic nuclear bomber did not just carry a 60-kiloton atomic bomb. It carried the absolute sovereign defiance of France. Born to crush the slow, subsonic British V-bomber legacy, the Mirage 4 represents a terrifying tactical leap. It is a sleek, delta-wing Predator engineered to run hot at Mach 2.2, cruising effortlessly at 60,000 feet. For 30 long years, this French machine was a psychological Maginot Line in the sky, maintaining a relentless 4-minute quick reaction alert. British fighters could only chase its twin-engine vapor trails. It was a flawless masterpiece of strategic intimidation. But every untouchable champion hides a fatal mechanical curse. Before we go on, do you think France was right to build its own nuclear path? Hit subscribe to join the ultimate military wargame, and tell me where you're watching from. To checkmate the British Air Defence Network, Dassault engineers built the Mirage 4 as a ruthless, aerodynamic rule-breaker. The heart of this French Predator lies in its wafer-thin delta wings, tailored specifically to slice through high-altitude atmospheric resistance. This structure allows the machine to maintain a devastating cruise speed of Mach 2.2 at 60,000 feet. But raw speed alone cannot fool British tracking. The true tactical magic is hidden right inside the power plant installation. Dassault integrated specialized, moving intake half-cone diffusers in front of the twin Snecma 9K14 turbojets. As the aircraft accelerates, these mechanical cones automatically push forward to manipulate and tame incoming supersonic shockwaves. This custom innovation ensures the engines never choke on their own speed, allowing the Mirage 4 to run red hot at Mach 2 for over 30 continuous minutes. This sustained supersonic sprint completely broke the contemporary British defense calculations. London relied heavily on its traditional fighter interceptors, but those machines could only sustain maximum speed for a few brief minutes before burning through their fuel reserves. The French Intruder simply weaponized endurance to outrun them. But the Royal Air Force refused to accept total humiliation. British commanders immediately pivoted their strategic focus, turning away from slower aircraft to invest heavily in land-based countermeasures. They realized that to smash a delta-wing Ghost flying at 60,000 feet, they needed something that did not rely on human reflexes or fighter fuel tanks. The British Air Defence Network transformed into a complex mathematical trap, calculating precise intercept vectors to catch the French bomber before it could cross the coastline. The battle line was drawn right over the cold waters of the English Channel, pushing the French miracle machine into its very first tactical corner. With the British Air Defence Network adapting fast, the French military planners unleashed their most horrifying tactical gambit, the card of madness. The Mirage 4 was never meant to be a clean, round, trip weapon. It possessed a combat radius of only 1,240 kilometers, meaning it simply did not have enough fuel to return home after dropping its nuclear cargo. Paris decided to push the geopolitical boundaries of the Cold War to the absolute brink. The French plan was to force their North Atlantic Treaty Organization allies into a corner, projecting a one-way nuclear strike through foreign airspace without prior permission. The Delta Wing Predator would dash past British and German monitoring networks, drop its payload to annihilate oncoming threats on German soil, and then make an emergency forced landing in non-aligned countries like Sweden or Turkey. Paris calculated that the sheer political chaos of the move would paralyze any immediate British retaliation. But this aggressive strategy soon ran directly into a brick wall of advanced radar engineering. By the late 1960s, the massive proliferation of surface-to-air missile networks turned high-altitude supersonic flight into a suicide mission. British tracking arrays could now lock onto high-altitude targets with ease. To survive this lethal countermeasure, the French striker was forced to abandon the upper atmosphere entirely. Commanders ordered the Mirage 4 down into the dense air, changing its profile to low-level penetration at just 200 feet. The machine roared over the landscape at a blistering 1,100 kilometers per hour to slip beneath the radar horizon. But this sudden shift exposed a fatal mechanical curse. The original Mirage 4 did not possess an automatic terrain avoidance radar. The pilot had to fly this supersonic beast manually, staring through the canopy while pulling intense physical maneuvers at low altitude. The extreme atmospheric pressure hammered the airframe, turning the cockpit into a violent pressure cooker that exhausted the crew within minutes. Despite the crushing low-altitude physical strain and the lack of automated terrain avoidance, the Mirage 4 successfully fulfilled its destiny as a psychological fortress. This French Delta Wing Maverick forced the British military establishment to accept a bitter reality. Paris had built a sovereign technological masterpiece that single-handedly dominated the early Cold War sky. The Intruder effectively paralyzed the traditional Royal Air Force defense playbook. It proved that France could independently project ultimate strategic intimidation without seeking approval from anyone. The enduring strength of this airframe design was so profound that even after retiring from its nuclear strike role, it continued to serve as a high-altitude strategic reconnaissance platform until its final retirement. But the geopolitical chess game across the English Channel never truly ends. Every dominant weapon triggers an equal and opposite reaction from a cornered adversary. London refused to let a French machine permanently hold the upper hand over its sovereign airspace. The British Defense Ministry realized that to completely shatter the speed and altitude advantage of the Mirage 4, they could no longer rely on conventional interceptor aircraft. They needed a stationary land-based monster that could strike faster, fly higher, and vaporize the French threat before it could even cross the maritime boundary. British engineers went to work in total secrecy, preparing a terrifying surface-to-air defense missile system powered by advanced ramjet technology. This upcoming British defender was engineered to run at twice the speed of the Mirage 4, turning the entire English Channel into an absolute no-fly zone for French intruders. The appearance of the Mirage 4 changed European air defense forever, proving that speed and sovereign defiance can alter the global balance of power. Was the French card of madness a brilliant strategic deterrence, or was it a reckless gamble that nearly triggered global annihilation?